The Century Media Podcast.
Hi, this is Eyal from Daath, and welcome to the Century Media Podcasts on the Record. Our new album is The Concealers. I'm going to be talking about that for a little while. This is going to be our second major release. Some of you may be familiar with The Hinderers, which is a very different record than The Concealers. And the reasons that is very different is because The Hinderers is comprised of a series of demos that were put together over the course of maybe about 10 years. Stuff started when I was 16. A song called Warborn on there I literally wrote when I was 16 years old. And there's songs on there like that on the dance floor that were written in 2002 when we used to be called Dirt Nap. And there was no real consistent lineup. Everyone we know and love, like Kevin Talley or Eyal, were not in the band yet when a lot of this was written. And the lineup consisted of maybe 3 different drummers, a few different guitar players, and when we got signed, it wasn't really re-recorded. All that happened was that we got the best mix engineer in the world to try to make it sound consistent, and that was Colin Richardson. So basically what you got was a big mishmash of creative output spanning maybe a decade. Now, The Concealers is the first time that the 5 of us all got in a room and really just like beat our heads together and really try to make this into a 5-headed beast where everyone was involved and everyone was playing and writing to the utmost of their abilities. It was really, really brutal. There was a lot of Adderall and weed, and a lot of anger and resentment for pushing a record that we didn't really believe in, being The Hinderers. Wanted to present the world with a record that really represented us for where we were at rather than where we used to be. And for some of the members, a record that actually involved them in the first place, like Kevin Talley, for instance. This, in his opinion, and I'm quoting him, is his best work since Dying Fetus, and it's because it's the first time that he's been recorded and he actually got to write and be a huge part of the process. Since then, when he was in Chimera, he didn't really get that kind of input, and besides that, all he's done is session live drums. So this was a very big deal for him about 10 years after Fetus to finally be able to make a statement for who he is as a drummer now in 2008. Well, 2009 now, but we recorded it in 2008. Also, same thing for Eyal. Solos weren't really featured on The Hinderers, and he lives, eats, breathes, shits guitar. Like, he is the embodiment of guitar. I think a slow day for him is 6 hours on the guitar, and that's not really featured on The Hinderers, and I think it was a real bummer to him and to me, pushing something that just wasn't indicative of who we were. So that's kind of some background of what kind of mentality we went into it with. We also got a new vocalist, Sean Z, who is a complete beast, and we just wanted to recreate ourselves and completely forget who people thought we were, or who maybe we even thought we were, and just go for the most honest portrayal of the current. As far as where we recorded it, we decided to go with Jason Sukoff and Mark Lewis because, first of all, they're really, really great friends of ours, and their body of work speaks for itself, and they were willing to take the time. We could have gone with other people. You can probably guess who. There are any number of metal producers, but we didn't want to take 4 weeks and be rushed through this. It was really, really important for us that we were with a group of, with a production crew who would take the time and the love and the care and deal with us until this was done and done right. So they were willing to. They offered us 2.5 months, which is a ridiculous amount of studio time for our said genre. You know, we're not Metallica or anything. We don't take 9 months to record the drums. And they were willing to go the mile with us. For instance, with the drums, Kevin wanted all his dynamics to be captured. He didn't want this to sound like your typical triggered drum machine sounding metal record. He wanted it to sound like Kevin Talley sounds. And a lot of metal producers these days and a lot of drummers these days will skimp because of technology. And that's kind of become the norm. You know, the industry standard is you record drums very quickly, then you trigger them, and presto, you sound like a drum machine. That is the last thing we wanted. But